The guys have been hard at work getting all of the maintenance done, but we've come into a small issue, alive in every sense. We're gonna visit our new clothing supplier. We've also got one thing that I'm gonna tease you on. Old logo, oh no. Good morning, welcome to episode 14 of this vlog. And before we get started, I think it's time for a coffee. Had a pretty good weekend, nice and chilled. I actually kicked off one of my New Year's resolutions. After last year's sort of Movember efforts that we did, you can check out another video on this channel where we climbed Snowdonia. Anyway, the main target of that Movember was to run, walk, hike 60 kilometers. I realized at that point in time how, specifically when we started, how I had like no stamina, no lung capacity, and I just wasn't very fit. And it made me think a lot, and I actually ended up beginning to enjoy it. So one of my resolutions that I've set for this year, I'm going to run a minimum of 20 kilometers every single month this year. That's way more than I've ever done, and I think it'd be nice to be able to maintain a level of fitness where I'm able to comfortably run 5K, what is basically weekly for the whole of this year. And I think it'd be cool. This weekend, I began that, I started it. So I'd ran my first 5K, not my fastest ever, but it's my first one since November. It felt pretty good. I didn't have to stop or walk or, yeah, it was a nice start to a resolution and also just a nice start of this year. Otherwise, I spent a lot of the weekend doing a lot of thinking, really, a lot of planning, figuring out my goals and how I'm going to get them done. And then as well as that, a bit of financial planning as well, sort of like I've always had a rough idea of what I plan to do in a year and if we're going to invest in certain areas or let's say recruit this person, see what that could do in terms of impact. This year I've tried to be a bit more granular, I guess, and really narrow down on the finer details. So like individual equipment purchases and stuff like that, just things that I'm trying to predict. It was really interesting to do this kind of exercise and understand what could things look like should they go a certain way. It is nice to look at goals and picture a world where those goals have been achieved, you know? Anyway, let's steam some milk, get some caffeine in the veins. I'm not super tired, but I think after the Christmas break, I'm still getting used to the early starts again. I definitely let my sleeping pattern go out the window during the Christmas break. Each week, getting back into the office and waking up at 5 has just been a bit of a shock to the system. But a bit of coffee always helps. Over the weekend, I was also doing a lot of viewing of the YouTube channel and just kind of like setting a bit of a plan or understanding a bit more about what it is I want to do with this channel. Like, it's been something that we've been testing for a little while now. Obviously, you know, we're on episode 14 of this vlog and I'm kind of finding a rhythm and understanding a bit more about what it is that I want to do with it. And I also realized that I think in the last package of vlogs, last few sort of episodes, especially last week, I could be doing more. I could just be putting more effort into these things and filming more of it and trying to keep it in the back of my mind that when something is happening, vlog it. Because especially last week and maybe the week before Christmas, so many things would happen in the week and then after they happen, I'm like, I should have vlogged that, you know? And I just think that I should be having a bit more of a vlog first mindset, if that makes sense. So this week, I'm trying to put a bit more of an effort in. I just think that would make it better and give you more of a window into my life, which is what this is meant to be. It's just towards the end of the year and last week, my mind definitely wasn't with the vlog. Otherwise, this week, I'm very hopeful that this week is the week we start to receive inquiries for projects to begin this year. On Friday, like 5 o'clock, one client did reach out looking for a quote for a project, so I'm going to quote that today. Literally last night, Sunday night, I had an email to give us a heads up that we've got to jump on a call this week to discuss another project. So some really good news. That's a nice positive way to start the week. January is always a bit of a scare, you know. It's rare to have something booked. We do have a few projects that were booked, thankfully, last year for January, but those 2 or 3 projects are definitely not enough to fill a full, you know, a video production company's calendar. So it's nice to see some other things coming through. Fingers crossed it does kick off strongly, because last year, January was really good for us, actually. It was odd. For a January, it was odd. It was very, very good. Otherwise, what I am finessing this week is my actual Q1 90-day plan, just so I can be 100% concrete on what it is we're doing. As well as that, we are visiting our new clothing supplier. We're visiting tomorrow so that we can actually finesse a plan and actually get some uniform. We're meeting again about our first spec out of the year, kind of gather everybody's thoughts now they've had some time to sit on it and have a bit of a think, and then hopefully define an exact idea that we're going to go with. and then put that into planning. We are going to be stickering and labeling. I said that in last week's video, but we're going to be finally going down into the kit room and getting our stickering and labeling progressed, which leads us on perfectly to our new equipment management system that we're going to be rolling out over the course of the next month or so. Interestingly enough, we've also got one thing that I'm going to tease you on, and I can't tell you too much about just yet, but we are going to be kicking off the launch of what is going to be another business. This one is more of a side piece complementing what we have now, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. What we're going to do is we're kicking it off this week. We're going to start production on the website side of things and the back end of that business, and then once we get it to more of a finesse stage, I'll tell you more about it at that point. But otherwise, yeah, same old, creating videos, editing stuff. What I'm going to do now is, like every single Monday, begin prepping for a kickoff to start off our week. As you've just seen, the guys have been hard at work getting all of the maintenance done for January. Nice to get the kit all prepped and ready for our first shoots of the year. Today has been great actually. Monday has kicked off this week in good fashion with lots and lots of progress. One thing that we signed off on today is a full new set of graphics for this vlog. I sort of realized over the holidays that this is going well, I am enjoying it, and it's time to create some actual material for these vlogs and for this channel that's a bit more dedicated, even down to the thumbnails. As you would have seen, we've now got a bit of a look and feel going on, which is nice, but something a bit more recognizable. I wanted to have something that isn't just Menace Media slapped on my channel, you know. I wanted to give it something a little bit more personal. So that's super cool. Really chuffed with some of the things we've done today. We've managed to make a massive amount of progress on some social media content. We've managed to dig very deep into that and build out a bit more of a plan for this month, quarter, etc. Like sort of planning out the social calendar, as it were. Really chuffed with that. And lastly, we have finessed our plan for this new business. Like I said, I can't tell you too much at the moment, but we've managed to figure out the platform, the back end, the website, all this good stuff. And this week, as of tomorrow, that goes into production, as it were. Like it's going to actually begin to be built. And then it's just pending some pieces of equipment arriving for it to go live officially. Really amazing, super chuffed. And that's it for Monday. Yeah, the aim is to have like zones for different categories of things, but also highlight individually where things are going to go. And then second to that is actually putting stickers on things to label them as ours. Like if you look at the lenses that I've done, they're all exactly the same. I'm thinking with some of the lights, like the P60s, it might be worth having labels on them for the perspective of using Sidus link. So you can say like, this is P60 number 1, corresponding with P60 number 1 on the app. Yeah, it's just a case of making everything nice and neat and tidy. And easy to follow for those that are new to the company, or like Ben and Max, if we say come and get the big Pelly, they know where that is, or 300X, or even if they're unloading the van, they'll be like, oh, it goes here, okay, cool. Yeah. You know, part of the issue is removing the old stickers. That can be a right pain. Maybe we could divvy up the roles, so who wants to do labelling? Yeah, I'll do labelling. Cool. As you can see by the state of the table, we've made a big dent in the stickering today, but we've come into a small issue. These labels that we've been making and printing and putting all over the shelves and such, we've actually just ran out, and our second cartridge is broken, so we've had to order some more. Thankfully, they'll arrive tomorrow, but we're also extremely short on this size of our stickers, so we've put in another order for that, and that's coming tomorrow as well. So we're gonna put a little bit of a pause on this and then come back tomorrow. But in exciting news, I'm about to head out with Ben because we're going to visit our new clothing supplier to look at some samples. It is very similar to the new one.
Yeah, I actually like it because it's cleaner. But...
That's the cuts.
Ah, right, okay.
They're definitely different. I might quickly try our one on again. Back at the office now, and super happy with what we just experienced over at First Avenue Suppliers, who are going to be our clothing supplier
finally. We tried on loads of samples, decided on some new garments over the ones that we previously decided on. Some of them have remained the same, but others have changed. So happy to be able to say that, and extremely excited for our new clothing to arrive. The other good news is our wonderful friends at Sign Logic, who did all of the signage in our building, have managed to quickly whip up some new stickers for us for tomorrow, which is the sort of medium-sized ones that we ran out of today. And the other supplier for the label maker has already shipped our other cartridge of labels so that we can carry on tomorrow with the sticker in, which is great because I want to get that done before we get too busy. I think that's super important. In other news though, today's been really great. You know how I was saying that I'm hoping this week things kick up into gear and we start seeing a bit more in terms of inquiries? We have had a nice little influx today of new quotes. Jobs have come in, got to quote for them, and fingers crossed, we'll go ahead and get those jobs. All good news all around. Couldn't be happier with today. Tomorrow we have our follow-up meeting about our spec ad to finesse our idea, and then we'll go into pre-production on that. And then we'll be carrying on with the sticker in so we can get everything complete and all beautifully logoed. Absolutely chuffed. Meeting one of today is finished and we have settled on our plan for our first spec ad of the year. Super excited. It's something that we've not done before, which is great because obviously it's expanding our portfolio and stepping us into a place that we've not been, which is, exciting and really, really cool. We just got to do a bit more planning now. We've nominated Darren to lead the project, kick off the initial planning and pre-production, mostly around storyboarding, mood boarding, and as well as coming up with a budget and a total cost for what this will cost for us to do, just to make sure that it definitely is within budget. But I think there's definitely ways for us to make that happen. We're about to head into another meeting with a supplier of ours, but also we are going to be doing a temporary voiceover for a project that we're working on at the moment with myself, which is kind of funny. Sometimes we find it's really good to do a placeholder voiceover with one of us, just to make sure that the script works, timing's right, and it just kind of feels good before we go ahead and pay a voiceover artist to do it professionally. So it won't sound the best, but it will be representative and help us make sure that we're doing the right thing. Rather excitingly, we also have an interesting project on the go right now, which is something that we don't do often, but it's nice to have. We recently did a design for a vehicle wrap, and our good friends at Sign Logic over the road are currently wrapping that, and Sam's headed over just to grab some behind the scenes footage. Yeah, it's a weird request, like we don't get that one often. We're obviously not a graphics design agency, but naturally motion graphics designers are graphics designers as well. They have to create the assets, and Ben, our lead motion graphics designer, was a graphics designer in his previous role before moving into the animation side of things with us. And years in the game of doing that, and that's also what he studied in university. So really cool to get a job like that come through, and then in a bit we'll go ahead and record a voiceover. Right, let's give it a go, see how it sounds.
Go for it and then we'll see, we can work from there.
Creativity often grinds to a halt, but the grind must go on. Don't wait for inspiration to find you. Take a step outside and seek it.
Do it again, but slow.
Okay. Wild ideas ready to take shape. Outside, the spark of creation is alive. Alive in every sense. Alive in every sound. It's time to create something extraordinary.
Yeah?
Yeah? I f***ed up at some point. It was the and a sense of renewed energy. It is just a sense of renewed energy. It's been an insanely busy day here at the office. A ton of admin, a ton of editing, and just a ton of just keeping up with everything. For some reason, the floodgates have opened today, and it's just been email and admin central. Yeah, sorry for not vlogging, but it was ridiculously desk-bound. But I'm happy to say that I've managed to get through basically everything, and I feel pretty good about it. But while I'm here, I actually thought now's a good time to respond to a comment that we had on a previous vlog. Thank you very much again for the comment. And it's just about, do we have aspirations for us to expand into the advertising sort of space? And yes, the answer is definitely yes. There's a reason why we're putting so much effort into spec projects as we have over the last couple of years. And that is to get into that space. Ultimately, what we discovered is that throughout our career so far as a company. We've built a really amazing portfolio and worked with some phenomenal brands and businesses and done things in all sorts of sectors in wonderful and weird places, but we hadn't quite broken into that advertising space yet. And I think that is a space that is hard to get into. You can't just do it. You can't message a brand and say, let me make your next big ad. You've got no proof. They have no reason to trust you and do it, which is why I value spec projects, because it enables you to elevate your portfolio and prove that you have the capacity and capability to do that. So that's why in the last couple of years, we started with the first project, which was our project for Solomon. And then last year we did the project for Man Up. And both of those were us pushing the boundaries, experimenting and learning and doing things in that sort of space so that we can have a portfolio of proof to enable us to eventually start working within that space on a paid level. The corporate side of things, as it was called in that comment, is certainly where we are. And I also think it's certainly where many video companies are, even the ones that do ads. You know, like, you need a backbone of work to keep you busy, and that is that. There's a stain on that word, and it's immediately assumed that corporate can be bad. That's so far from the truth. There is your traditional corporate that can be a little bit plain, boring, but being honest, all of the brands that are with the times and want to be ahead of the curve are more aware and awake to the idea of doing, I don't know how to call it, I'd call it good corporate content or cool corporate content. And that does mean higher level production or more fun. I'm trying to get the point across. What I'm saying is corporate can be cool. Never dismiss it as just corporate and boring and plain. It can be cool. And we always try to make them fun, whether that is, let's say it's simply just a talking head video with no B-roll, right? So we just have to film an interview. We will try to make sure that that interview looks baller in a cool location. So for us, we've had fun because we've managed to create something that looks awesome. The client's got something that's creative and looks awesome, and it's going to deliver on their results. Win, 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 win. I hope that kind of explains it. We are trying to get into the advertising space, and we're on our way there. That's it for Thursday. Back again tomorrow, where we're going to have a little bit more action because we are finishing, finally, the stickering and labeling. Our new stickers and labels have arrived today.
Yeah.
So when we went to the shop the other day, we tested some other clothing from a different brand. Obviously, we liked this one before the new year. This one is nicer,
Yeah.
I've got to say.
Is it where it's got like a double cut?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's premium.
But this is a nice coat, don't get me wrong. That's nicer.
Prices though?
Price is £90,
Okay.
120-ish. That's got two pockets on the side.
Well, this one's got a top one, and then underneath it's got another.
That wins for me, I've got to say. Do you guys want to try them on? Obviously, you two will be wearing them.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
on.
That's the OG, the one that we tried before
I
Christmas.
remember this one having like more of a premium feel to it. Isn't it?
It looks good, it looks smart.
It feels warmer as well than the first one that we had.
I've not tried that one on yet, and I really like this. So. First was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do like 3 whole days
Of stickering.
and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be quite boring, but it's actually really nice. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Yeah.
it's oddly satisfying. Me and Sam are back in the kit room, finishing off the labelling, or getting close to finished anyway. Sam has been a trooper, working on it pretty much all day today. Yeah, some serious progress. Where's those batteries? I want to show those. Like, everything's looking well smart. So we got, old logo. Oh no. I was just
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
hang on. I'll find another one. That one's got an old logo. This one's a new logo. There we go.
Okay.
So they're all like labelled with the product, the item code and the number of it, because obviously there's loads of these things, as well as a new logo. Apart from that one I just found. Whoopsie. Like, we got a camera here. You can see the logo on the side there, on top, and on the side here, you can see its sort of name and its number, which is super cool. Super cool. It's the only battery. I've managed to pick out the only one. And then other than that, Sam has also kindly labelled all of the shells, and they look so smart now. So you know exactly what goes in every space, no matter if you've worked here for 10 months or 1 month, which is amazing. Here we are at the end of a very productive and good week. It's been odd in some ways. I'll have to save those stories for another day, but overall, a very positive week, kicking off some good conversations and getting into some projects to start the year. Not as busy as I'd hoped yet, I must say. You know, full transparency in this vlog, we could be busier, and I was hoping for a little bit more in terms of like projects coming in by this point. But from the conversations I've had with new prospects and old clients, it just seems like so far everyone is still in conversations around budgets, and I guess we'll see. Hopefully within the next week or two, that's when we'll start really getting into the swing of things. But excitingly, in next week's episode, you'll see we are back in the swing of things in terms of shoots with our first shoots of the year. We have 2 next week. One I can definitely take you guys behind the scenes on, and the other one we're gonna have to be secret on because we're under NDA. However, it's still nice for us to be back out, feet on the ground, on set, producing some cool videos. Got a little bit of stickering done, still whining on about that one, but we are definitely digging into that pile, and we are like, I'd say 80% there now, which is really positive. That's gonna tie us in nicely to a really exciting thing we have coming up. I keep teasing things, I'm really sorry. There's so many things happening at the moment because it's the start of the year that, like, from our perspective, so many new things that are happening. And yeah, all this stickering and madness that we're doing, it does tie into something extremely important that's gonna be massive for us this year. It should be within 4 weeks that I should be able to tell you guys about this, as it will be a big announcement for us and something we've never done before. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Delivery? Oh no. I'm so excited. Camera reveal number 1. Allow me to introduce you to our new